All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my WrestleMania 38 prediction video, where I'm going to be giving you predictions for WrestleMania 38, both night 1 and night 2, on April 2nd and April 3rd. These events are going to take place in Dallas, Texas at Cowboy Stadium, and as of this video, the building is not sold out. I'm not sure what's going to happen between now and then, but it's not sold out, but you know, it's WrestleMania, and they'll make it look nice. The WWE's production is always top-notch. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the matches, and actually all the matches. Every match I'm going to tell you my prediction for it, who's going to win, kind of the way I think it's going to go and the way I hope it goes. This is not a spoiler video, but what I say may come true. Okay, so please be aware what I say may come true. And also be aware that WWE and Vince McMahon have a habit of changing finishes the day of the show. They've sometimes gone back and forth on finishes for like hours before they actually pick one. So be aware of that. It's happened for years and years and years. So we're going to start with April 2nd, night 1 of WrestleMania. And first of all, the Usos versus Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. This spot was supposed to belong to the Viking Raiders, but if you saw Raw on Monday, you know how they treat them. But it was given to Nakamura and Rick Boogs. There was actually at one time talk it would have been like a 3-way tag with the Viking Raiders, but they don't want to do more multi-man tag matches. We've already got, you know, a 4-way, and we've got a 3-way, and, you know, we've already got that. So instead, we're getting a regular tag team match. Obviously, the Usos are going to win. I don't see the Usos not leaving WrestleMania without the tag team titles. It's part of the bloodline. They're going to win, but the Usos always put on a hell of a match, so it should be good. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. McIntyre's going to win this one. I think that, in my opinion, I think he's going to beat him in like less than 5 minutes. I cannot see this match going a long time. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. They might give this match a lot of time, but this feud with Happy Corbin and Drew McIntyre was created to give Drew something to do before he faces off with Roman Reigns, because Drew is booked to feud with Roman Reigns later this year. So Drew will be going after Roman Reigns after this feud. I don't know if it'll be right after, but at some point this year he will. And he's not going to lose this feud. He's not going to lose at WrestleMania. So Drew McIntyre wins this match. Hopefully it'll be quick, maybe under a minute. Bro, you know, the big, I was about to call it the bro kick, but hit him with the big flying Claymore kick and puts him out 1, 2, 3. I don't think the feud's going to continue into next month, but you never know. It could, maybe a feud with somebody else, but I don't think so. Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. So I want Rey and Dominic to win, but I have a funny feeling that this is going to be the night where Dominic turns on Rey. They've been talking about doing this now for years, where they're going to have Dominic and Rey feuding. And originally they were going to involve Chavo Guerrero and Vicky Guerrero, but they're both in AEW. At least Chavo was in AEW. We're not sure where he is right now, but who knows? Maybe he'll go back to WWE. I mean, who knows? But Rey Mysterio and Dominic are probably not going to win this match. They could. I don't know what they're going to do with Logan Paul, though. This is the second year that Logan Paul's been involved, and he did take a stunner last year, which was a good sport of him to do, but usually celebrities that do WrestleMania usually win, but there's a few different celebrity matches this year, so maybe it won't go that way, but I still think Miz and Logan Paul are going to win this match. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. So Bianca Belair winning this, by the way, it's for the Raw Women's title. Bianca Belair winning this would make the most sense because it bookends her story with Becky all the way back in SummerSlam. She had to go through the hero's journey of failing to get the championship back from her and then winning the Elimination Chamber to earn her shot. So you would think she's going to win. However, I feel like Becky Lynch will win because I think if the plan is still to do Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 39 next year, I somehow have a feeling that they're not going to have Becky lose on the grandest stage of them all. Again, could be wrong. I would actually go with Bianca if I were the booker and just rebuild Becky, you know, for the rest of the year. But I could see her winning. Now, The next match I'm going to talk about might actually have something to do with the match I'm talking about now, the women's match. I'm going to explain why. Seth Rollins, or Seth freaking Rollins, as they call him now, versus a mystery opponent who Mr. McMahon will announce on the night of the event. There's been rumors for a while now about who this is. It's Cody Rhodes. People are going to think it's Shane because Shane's there this weekend. It's not Shane McMahon, it's Cody Rhodes. And if Cody Rhodes comes to WWE with Brandy Rhodes, if it's Cody and Brandy together, then if they do that, then I could totally see Becky losing to Bianca, and then they do like a mixed tag feud where it's Seth and Becky, because you know they're married, versus Cody and Brandy Rhodes, because they're married. Like, that stuff they always do. I mean, don't forget Edge and Beth Phoenix against Miz and Maurice, like Cena and Nikki Bella, Bryan and Brie Bella. This is stuff they love to do in the company. Too bad we never saw Undertaker or Michelle McCool, but no, who knows? That sucks. But anyways, yeah, Cody Rhodes is not coming in. They're not going to have a mystery opponent show up and lose. Highly unlikely. So Cody Rhodes will be defeating Seth Rollins here, and if Becky loses her match, then this is going to be the reason why. It's because they're going to start the feud off with them. Now, I do believe that the opening match on the card is probably going to be Becky versus Bianca. That's my prediction. I could be wrong on that. For the next match I want to talk about, New Day, which is Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland drops freaking Big E on his neck. Now, you could sit there and blame Big E or Ridge Holland, but Ridge Holland has a history of being unsafe. And you never want to be labeled as an unsafe worker because it's not a good look on you, bro. I feel like if he injures or if he's involved in a match with another injury, that could be curtains from ever getting a push. No matter how big he is, he's one of those big bodybuilder guys who's not really that athletic, so I could see that being a problem. However, I do think for this feud, I think New Day will win. I think the whole story here is Xavier Woods and Kofi are avenging Big E, so I think they're going to win in the name of Big E, if that makes sense. So I think they are going to win this match. I don't think it's going to hurt Sheamus if Ridge Holland gets pinned, so I can see Kofi pinning him, and that's going to do it for that. Then we have the, on paper, match main event, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. I just want to say that, and by the way, this is for the SmackDown Women's title. I just want to say that I don't like Ronda Rousey. I used to like Ronda Rousey, but the more that I've seen of her, both on The Ultimate Fighter, in UFC, and in WWE, and then hearing things about her and reading things she says, every time I see her on TV, she has this energy about her where it's like she doesn't want to do it. Like she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be somewhere else. You can tell when someone's out there having fun. Brock, Roman, Seth, you know they're having fun out there. They're having a good time being wrestlers. She acts like she hates it. She doesn't like the fans, and she has to pretend to like the fans because the company told her to. She's a natural heel, but she's coming into this match as a babyface, and I think the crowd knows it. I think the audience knows that Ronda Rousey is not really a face. And I think that's going to be reflected in this match. I think she will get booed in this match. I am predicting right now that Ronda Rousey will get booed in this match. And I think she's going to win. Rousey will win and tap out Charlotte Flair because Rousey needs to win her first match back. But I still feel like, and for those who don't know, Charlotte and Ronda are close. And Ronda was the one that chose this match. Because they were going to go with Ronda and Becky originally. This was before the Rumble, like December, I think it was, when they first talked about this. But she chose to go with Charlotte, and there you go. Because they were originally going to do Bayley versus Becky at this show, and I don't know why that got changed. So maybe Bayley's not ready, I don't know. But Ronda's going to win. Now, on my Twitter, go to my Twitter, @EmperorBigD. I oftentimes break wrestling stories before Meltzer, before Sean Ross Sapp, before PW Insider. Not always, but often. And I talked about how originally WWE was going to have Charlotte versus Ronda close the show. Then I heard the KO show with Steve Austin would be closing the show. that would be the last thing we see. And the reason for that's because WWE is anticipating Ronda will get booed, and they know that Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, will get the biggest cheers of the night, maybe of the entire weekend, because he's freaking Steve Austin. And he's a legend, especially in Dallas, where he first started his career. But then I heard that Austin himself did not want to go on last because he didn't want to take away from the women's main event. But if he doesn't go on last, he might actually do that because of the fact that his pop will be so loud, the crowd might be dead for that main event. I don't know. It's difficult to really gauge, but I want to talk about this non-match, which is the KO show with Steve Austin. So the reports have been out for a while that Stone Cold Steve Austin is totally jacked. He is more jacked now than he was during his run, is what they're saying. He does not look 57. Now, I haven't seen him, but I'm expecting this to be more than just a stunner. I'm expecting Kevin Owens and Stone Cold to brawl for a bit. I'm expecting Austin's shirt to come off. Like, they will have a brawl, but it's not going to be called a match because, A, Austin has so much respect for Rock, and his last match was with The Rock, and B, he doesn't want to call it a match because he doesn't want to give the idea that he's out of retirement. So it's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a segment. It'll get a pop. When he stuns Kevin Owens, I'm sure it'll be huge and it'll be fun. So that may close the show, or Ronda and Charlotte Flair. Nothing else will, unless they decide to close with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, but I don't think that's happening because they have never closed a WrestleMania with a mystery opponent. In fact, I'm not sure if they ever closed any show with a mystery opponent except for maybe a Royal Rumble when you had surprise entrants. Like, when have you ever seen a pay-per-view end like that? It's very rare. So it's going to be something that people want to see. That's it for night 1. Night 2 of WrestleMania 38, Dallas, Texas, April 3rd. So we have a 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. It's Queen Zelina and Carmella who are the champions, defending against Sasha Banks and Naomi, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, Natalya and Shayna Baszler. This is one of those we have to get the women on the show deals and as many girls as we can, and that's why they're on this card. That's why. I mean, they did the same thing last year. Whenever you see these like 3-way, 4-way matches, it's usually indicative of them realizing they have to get them on the card but don't want to book individual feuds, so they just come up with one big match to put them all in. It might be a cluster muck. I mean, there's been some good ones. WrestleMania, we've seen these like almost every year. WrestleMania 37 had one, 35 had one. Like, this is a common thing. But as far as my prediction goes, I think Natalya and Shayna Baszler are going to win, but I'm going to change my pick slightly. I could see Carmella and Zelina retaining because WWE's doing a reality show with Carmella and Corey Graves, and they might want her to be champion for that. It's not necessary, but they might want that. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Anything goes. This is going to be wacky. We're going to see them doing all kinds of stunts that Johnny Knoxville does, probably going to the back and doing some jackass shit. I am predicting Sami Zayn wins this one, though. Out of all the celebrity matches, this is the one where I think Sami Zayn is going to win. I could be wrong, but I think Johnny Knoxville's okay with taking a fall in this wrestling match, so I think Sami Zayn is going to win this one. It could be fun. It could be wacky. It's probably going to be comedy. Raw tag team titles. Triple threat match. RK Bro, the Street Profits, and Alpha Academy. RK Bro retains for a few reasons. Number one, anybody else winning is not really that interesting. And number two, RK Bro are some of the highest merch sellers in the entire company. So they're going to be champions for a while and push as the top act for a while, which is why they close so many Raws, because they are selling a lot of merch. So I think that this rated RKO thing, or RK Bro, I'm sorry, this is like what's up right now. They're going to keep it around for a while before they break them up. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. So this is actually a tough one for me because I could see Bobby Lashley being the first guy to defeat Omos because Omos is a giant and Bobby can chop him down and eventually beat him. And then maybe later on you build him up to challenge Roman or Lesnar or whomever, because him and Lesnar have unfinished business too. So you could do that, but also they're really pushing Omos. Like, they're really, really behind this guy. He's green as grass. not a good worker, slow, plodding, boring. He's one of those guys that would be a shoe-in like 1991 or 1990 or 1985, but not nowadays. The guy can't work, and nowadays in WWE you have to be able to work a little bit. So I think, okay, he's probably going to win because they're really pushing him, but I think the right move is to have him lose and then send him to developmental. I think he needs more time in developmental because he's just not ready. He's just not ready. He's got a great voice, though. Like a great, deep voice, scary. But what can you do? I still think that okay, I want Bobby to win, but I'm going to pick Omos. Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. For me, Pat McAfee wins this match. I love Pat McAfee. Everything he's done has been pretty awesome. Yes, he is a commentator, but he also wrestled. He had the feud with Adam Cole. I think he needs to win this match. I know some people are going to say, well, you don't want your announcer beating up on your wrestler, but Austin Theory is not even a serious act. Like, he's being portrayed as kind of a comedy gimmick in the lower mid-card. He's not really a big deal. Don't let them fool you. Just because he's doing an angle with Vince McMahon does not mean he's a big deal. Vince is smacking him around and making fun of him, and it's like, what is that going to accomplish? So I'm going to go with Pat McAfee here. He has that credibility from the NFL. He's got street cred. I think he wins this match. Edge versus AJ Styles. This is the real, probably the best match on the show. Like bell to bell. This is going to be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to this. Edge and AJ Styles. Now, it's tricky, though, because I don't know who to pick. You could have Edge win, and then you have the feud continue into the summer where AJ can get his win back. Or you could have AJ win to give the fans a feel-good moment and then do the rematch later on. You could do that, too. This is not the first... No, this is not the only match that they're going to have. I predict they're going to have more matches and flip-flop the wins. But who's going to win at this WrestleMania? This is the tricky part because I'm going to go with AJ Styles. And I could be wrong because Edge has not really won Mania since he's come back. There was 36 where he... Well, actually, no, he did win 36. Yeah, okay, so it was only 37 that he lost. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Edge winning this. No, I'm sorry, AJ. I'm dumb. I'm going to go with AJ Styles. AJ Styles wins the Royal Rumble. Edge could win. The Royal Rumble. What am I thinking right now? AJ Styles wins this match, but the feud will continue and Edge will get rematches. But I could see Edge winning too. Let's not forget that that Jericho and AJ Styles had a match in Dallas in this same building in 2016. And everybody thought that AJ was going to win and then Jericho wins. So they could do that here as well. Then we have the main event. Winner take all for unification of the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, number 3. Third time at WrestleMania. Not third time ever, but third time at WrestleMania. And this will be the night that Roman Reigns finally exercises the Brock Lesnar ghost and defeats him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Roman Reigns wins this match and unifies titles. I am kind of dreading this match for a couple reasons, okay? So, Roman winning is probably the right move because Lesnar is a part-timer. And Roman's there every single week. So you don't want to have your part-timer lose to your guy who you've been pushing like crazy. It's just everything I've been told, everything I've seen points to Roman Reigns winning this match. Now, I do think that during the match, Lesnar will F5 Heyman and get his revenge on him that way, and maybe even the Usos. But I don't think he's going to win the match. I think Roman's going to get him. Now, what I was talking about a minute ago where I said I'm worried about this match, I'm dreading is because what I don't want is I don't want a repeat of the 31-34 matches. I don't want 55 Germans, 17 F5s, 12 spears. I don't want that F5 spear, F5 spear. Maybe in the final sequence of the match you can do that, but I want this to be an actual good match. I want there to be brawling around the ring. I want to see carnage. I want to see weapons. I want to see the Spanish announce table get demolished. I want to see great near falls. this could be a legitimately legendary WrestleMania match. And I feel like the way they're hyping it up, because they've been saying it's like the biggest match in WrestleMania history, which is bullshit. You and I both know that's not true, but they're saying that as a marketing tactic. So I feel like they have a lot of confidence in this match. It's not just going to be one move. And it can't be, because that would piss off so many people. You would lose so many fans. Roman and Brock have to go out there and really, really deliver. Like, there has to be drama. There has to be, twists and turns and surprises, weapons. It has to be like a fight. It has to be what I call a war of attrition. That's what it has to be. But I think Roman Reigns is going to win this match. Brock will still be around, maybe for WrestleMania Backlash or other stuff, but Roman Reigns wins this match. So I think that's it. I doubt they're going to add any more matches to the show, but that is your predictions for WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. What do you think? What are your predictions? I want to know them down below. And make sure that you tell me why. Don't just tell me who you think is going to win. Tell me why you think they're going to win. And we'll talk soon.